Today, I want to talk about something many people don't want to talk about, and it is failure. Failure is painful, disappointing, and demoralizing. These are all emotional bruises, right? Now, in addition to these emotional bruises, failure can impact us on an unconscious level as well, and leave wounds that are far more psychologically devastating. I remember some time ago when I was talking to a group of people and I asked them a question. I was like, who has ever failed here? Raise your hands if you have ever failed here, I asked them. And guess what? There was dead silence. None of them raised their hands. And I asked again, I was like, who has ever failed here? And yet, none of them raised their hands. I asked a few more times, and finally, some of them were able to raise their hands. And I probed further. I asked them, if you have ever failed, why did you fail? Why do you think you failed? I got different answers from them. Some of them said because they didn't have enough money. Some said because they didn't have internet. Some said because they were not educated. Some said because of the economy. They said all sort of things. And I told them, I can categorize all your excuses into one group. And I call it resources. That means people fail because of lack of resources. Whether you call it lack of money, lack of internet, lack of education, poor economy. In other words, people fail because of lack of resources. Now hear this. The greatest form of resources you can ever have is called resourcefulness. Now what is resourcefulness? Resourcefulness is the ability to find quick and clever ways to overcome difficulties. So resourcefulness could be that extra push, working hard, that creativity, showing up early at work, and giving it that extra try. That is what I call resourcefulness. You may have failed before, or you probably just failed. That could be the reason why you're watching this video. Now I want to tell you that failure is not the end, especially if you don't quit. Remember, quitters don't win, and winners don't quit. Recognizing the various psychological injuries we sustain when we fail and learning how to treat them will help you recover more rapidly and more fully, both psychologically and emotionally, and increase your chances of success in the future. That's why today I'll be telling you how to recover from failure. Don't get it twisted. My name is Chike. Don't go anywhere. Subscribe if you're new. Stick a massive like on this video. I'll be back in a bit.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains.
Number 1. Accept failure. Honestly, it can be hard to see failure as anything other than something to avoid at all costs. But it can actually be a learning experience. Right. Think about it. What is failure, if not an experience? Isn't it something that you do that doesn't go as planned, doesn't bring results you hope for, or simply doesn't go through? We can actually easily describe failure the same way we would do an experience, which is a set of actions, their consequences, the emotions we feel in the process, the interaction with other people, the circumstances we can or cannot anticipate, and our reaction to those. Okay, I know that trying something new is hard, and roadblocks pop up from time to time. I know all that. But trust me, you have to learn to separate the failure from who you are as a person. When you fail, ask yourself what the 3 biggest lessons you learned were, and what you can put in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. It is also important to consider the warning signs you might not have listened to fast enough. Now hear me. One of the most important lessons I learned in life is how to fail gracefully. If you want to be successful, you have to learn how to fail quickly. It is better to fail early and often, so you learn the necessary lessons to innovate. So number 1, accept failure. Number 2, apologize quickly. When mishaps inevitably happen, It is important to get out in front of it. You see, one of the worst things you can do when things go wrong is to ignore the problem altogether. That can cause uncertainty and make people lose trust in you. When addressing a problem, apologies to the right people can't be done too soon. You don't have to tell the whole world, but those who need to know should hear it from you and not from anyone else. I remember some time ago, one of my colleagues came to me and he had a very big problem at work. He made a very terrible mistake. It was a big mistake. So he came to me, he told me what he did, and I was like, what? What did I just hear? What? What did you do? It was a big problem. It was a terrible mistake. To be honest, I didn't know what to tell him. So I told him, okay, wait. I'm going to talk to one of our senior colleagues. He has been at the company for 20 years. I was going to talk to the guy and he will definitely tell me how to go about this because he has been there for a long time. He's so experienced. So when I went to the senior colleague, I told him everything and the guy said, look, just tell your friend that it is over for him. That he said he has been at the company for 20 years and he never encountered anything like that. He said it was over for the guy, that the guy should just prepare for his sack. And the guy was summoned for a meeting the next morning. Apparently they were supposed to give him his sack letter and dismiss him. So I went back home, I thought deeply about it, and I came up with a solution. I called the guy on the phone. I told him, look, when you go in for the meeting tomorrow, the next morning, they will tell you what you did and they will ask you why you did what you did. Don't go there and start explaining yourself. Don't go and start arguing with them or telling them why you did what you did. Just go there and apologize to them. Tell them that you were deeply sorry for what you did and that you learned your lessons already. Apologize and take responsibility for your actions. Tell them that if they give you another chance, that it will never happen again. Take responsibility for your actions and apologize sincerely. You know what? The guy went there, he did exactly what I told him. He went there, he apologized sincerely. He told them that he takes responsibility for his actions, that he has learned his lessons. And he said if they can give him another chance, that he promised them that it will never happen again. Guess what? The directors didn't know what to say. And they started debating. They were like, look, we need somebody to fill in this position. If we sack this guy now, we're definitely going to bring in another person. And the person may just make the same mistake that this guy made. But this guy has already made the mistake and he has already apologized. He has learned his lessons. He probably wouldn't do it again. They started debating. And from there, one thing led to another. The guy was pardoned. And they told him, look, we already have your sack letter here, but we will give you a second chance. Just like you said that you've learned your lessons, don't repeat it again, be a good staff. And the guy promised to be a good staff. And guess what? Till today, the guy is still at that company. He's not just there as a staff, he's one of the decision makers in that company. So you see, when you do the wrong thing, when you fail, apologize quickly. Apologize quickly and apologize to the right people. It pays. Number 2, apologize quickly. Number 3, fix your failure. Don't leave the cleanup to anyone else. Do your best to recover and find solutions. Do whatever you can to stop further damage from occurring. If there are financial issues involved, try to recover as much as you can. If there's collateral damage to relationships, apologize quickly and try to restore trust. Very important. Fix your failure. Number 4, move on. When the dust settles and you've successfully navigated through the storm, it is important to try again. You see, moving forward is really about learning the art of managing your focus and maintaining your emotions. I know the emotions of failure and feeling like a failure can demoralize anyone. I know that. I know. But you have to learn to frame failure in a way that empowers you. In other words, you have to learn from failures and move on. If you fail, remember, it is not the end of the world. There are countless examples of individuals who failed spectacularly before becoming a massive success. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, failed to get elected to the Illinois State Legislature and the US Senate among other personal, business, and political shortcomings. Finally, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. In life, failures can make or break you. How you react to those missteps ultimately determine whether you can rise above your challenges. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I appreciate you all. Subscribe if you are new. Stick a massive like on this video. Share this video. God bless you and see you at the top.